Welcome back to another episode of Play Action Fantasy Football. Wide receiver start video just came out a little bit earlier today. If you haven't seen that, go back and check it. Other than that, come on back afterwards and we'll talk about the quarterback start sits. But if you already seen that one and you're here to stay, go ahead and jump right into it. Kicking us off, we got Thursday Night Football. You got the Broncos and the Chiefs. And I'm going to go ahead and start both of these guys. Now, a lot of people might be thinking, Russell Wilson, maybe not. Let me tell you something. He's averaged 18.6 points per game. He's not going to get you 25, 30 points. He's not going to do the Josh Allen, the Patrick Mahomes, the Joe Burrow thing, even though Joe Burrow hasn't really done that much this year either. However, Russell Wilson is averaging 18.6 points per game. He's good enough to throw in at start and just let it ride. Just let it ride at quarterback. And then against the Chiefs and Arrowhead, it might be a little tricky. But if he's going to be playing from behind, more than likely he's going to throw a lot more. And he doesn't turn the ball over a ton. So I like the upside there for Russell Wilson, and Patrick Mahomes is obviously going to be a start up against the ranked 29th defense against the pass for the Broncos. Sunday at 9:30 in the morning, last London game of the year, you got the Ravens and the Titans. Go ahead and start Lamar Jackson, no doubt about it. The dude is just on fire right now. Really good game against Cleveland. Good game against the Colts, even though it ended in a loss. It's still a good game for Lamar Jackson overall with the rushing and the passing upside there. Love it against the Titans, who are currently 23rd against the pass. Now, Ryan Tannehill, on the other hand, go ahead and sit him. There's not much I could say other than just sit him at this point. 1 o'clock games on Sunday. Kicking us off, we got the Panthers and the Dolphins. Bryce Young, for me, is going to be a cautionary start. And the reason being is he's been pretty good the last couple weeks. And last game against the Lions, mind you, the Lions, who are one of the better defenses right now, he threw 247 yards, 3 touchdowns. Only thing I wouldn't like to see less of is the interceptions. He threw 2 that game. 2 interceptions against the Lions. He still finished with 17 points. Now, that's in my league. I don't know how it is for yours. But other than that, pretty overall a good day for Bryce Young. So I'm going to give him a cautionary start, especially against the Dolphins, who are 20th against the pass. So if you need a quarterback due to bye week or injuries, might be a streaming guy this week, I'll be honest. Tua Tagovailoa, he's going to be a start regardless. That offense can just be explosive. It is up against the Panthers. They're 5th right now. The Panthers are in the passing defense. But Tua, he doesn't have to throw a lot. He just needs the receivers to get a lot of yak, and that's all he needs. So start Tua. Saints and Texans now. Both these guys are going to be cautionary starts for me. Derek Carr did have a decent game against the Patriots last week. They did score 34 points on the Patriots. But Derek Carr didn't have a fantastic day. He had a decent day. So for this game, I'm going to go ahead and give both a cautionary start. CJ Stroud did struggle a little bit against the Falcons. But other than that, he's going to get a bounce back, I think, this week. Even though it is up against a slightly tougher defense, it's a home game for CJ Stroud, and he does perform better at home. Commanders and Falcons now. Sam Howell will be a start for me, and surprisingly, I'm going to say it, Desmond Ridder is going to be a start for me. Justin Fields was broken. Played the Broncos, then played the Commanders. What a way to turn it around. And Desmond Ridder did not play terrible against the Texans either. Now he gets the 21st ranked Commanders defense. Yeah, Desmond Ridder will be a start for me. And Sam Howell, even though they lost terribly to the Bears, Sam Howell still found a way to be fantasy viable that week. So both these guys are going to be starts for me in this game. Colts and Jaguars now, and Anthony Richardson is on the IR as of today, at the time of this recording. He is going to be out a couple weeks here, so Gardner Minshew will be your starting quarterback. I don't know how to factor this one in 100%. As of right now, Gardner Minshew is a sit for me. I don't see any way to put him as a cautionary starter start. Last time these two teams faced each other, Trevor Lawrence did really good. Anthony Richardson kept them in the game. I don't know if Gardner Minshew can do that because Richardson used his legs to keep them in the game. Minshew is not a running quarterback. So Minshew will be a sit. Other side of the ball, Trevor Lawrence is a start. Looked really good last week. He's averaging 14 points per game. That's not great from a starting fantasy quarterback. If you have him if he was your main guy you drafted, like somebody for me, that's not great. But he has been turning it around as of late, and the game against the Colts, at home against the Colts, could be the push we need for him to start scoring 20, 25 points a game. But we'll see. As of right now, he's a start for me. Seahawks and Bengals, and now this is where it gets a little tricky for me. Geno Smith is questionable after a bye week. he more than likely will play. But for whatever reason, if he has a setback and doesn't play, that's where it gets a little tricky. So as of now, Geno Smith is a cautionable start for me. He's a cautionary start for me. I'm just a little iffy about it, depending on if he plays or not, but he should. If Drew Lock is the quarterback, I'm going to go ahead and sit him. There's no reason to start Drew Lock as of right now. We've seen a small sample size in week 4, and then the bye week last week, we didn't get to see much more. We would have if they didn't have that bye week, because I have a feeling Geno Smith would have been out. But as of right now, Geno Smith, cautionary start. Drew Lock would be a sit. On the opposite side of the ball, though, Joe Burrow will be a start. An amazing game for him to finally get back into the starting quarterback we need for fantasy football. He threw for 317 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Got to try to get those turnovers, down or non-existent at this point. And he scored 22 points in my league. Again, my league, I don't know how everyone's scoring is, but as of right now, I'm just going to reiterate that. I'm not going to do it much more after that. But 22 points is pretty good for Joe Burrow considering how he's played recently. Vikings and Bears now, and both these guys are going to be a start for me. Kirk Cousins, even without Justin Jefferson, they're up against the second worst pass defense in the Bears, who are currently 31 against the pass. Kirk Cousins has been able to hit Jordan Addison. They have that connection, and then KJ Osborne's finally starting to get back up to speed with Kirk Cousins. I'm not too worried about that situation there. Obviously, Justin Jefferson is a generational type of player, but I'm not too worried about it as of right now. Bears side of the ball, Justin Fields has been lighting it up, and he also gets another good matchup against the Vikings, who are 22nd against the pass. So continue with Justin Fields in that one. Moving on now, you got the 49ers and the Browns ending our 1 o'clock games here, and Brock Purdy will be a start for me in this one. It does seem like, from what I hear as of now, the weather is going to be a little bit of a factor in Cleveland, but Brock Purdy just needs to be able to do a little dump off to either Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, or Christian McCaffrey, and they'll go to work, and that's going to be enough for him to start sacking up some points in fantasy football. So go ahead and start Brock Purdy there. Browns side of the ball, I'm going to go ahead and put Deshaun Watson as a questionable start. Somebody I'm going to be a little cautious on. Okay, he's questionable as is with an injury, and it looks like it's going to be a rotator cuff contusion, which means it's a pretty decent bruise on his rotator cuff. In this matchup, it's tough. If he plays, cool. If not, not worried about it, because then I'm not worried about the other guys. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, a.k.a. DTR, and P.J. Walker are both going to be sits if Watson doesn't play. 4 o'clock games, you got the Patriots and the Raiders. I'm going to go ahead and sit Mac Jones here, and I'm going to go ahead and give Jimmy Garoppolo a cautionary start. Mac Jones, no explanation needed. He's been garbage for a majority of the year. And then Jimmy Garoppolo is a cautionary start. He didn't have the best game against the Packers, but he played decently. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt here, and the Patriots have struggled on defense, so go ahead and put him as a cautionary start. And a game I'm really looking forward to now is the Lions and the Buccaneers. Jared Goff is a start. He's been slinging it all over the field, no matter who his wide receivers are. St. Brown was out last week, and he still put up fantastic numbers. Really like the opportunity here. Now, the Buccaneers' defense is pretty decent against the pass. They're more middle of the pack. But Jared Goff and that Lions team look legit. And the other side of the ball, the Buccaneers look legit. And Baker Mayfield's on a revenge tour. At least it seems like. The dude was balling last week, or week 4. Excuse me, they were on a bye last week. Week 4 against New Orleans, who is the number 4 pass defense as of right now, and they've been top 10 all year. He threw 246 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception against one of the top 10 defensive passing teams, or pass defensive teams. Like, that's pretty good for Baker Mayfield. And now he might get Mike Evans back, who I'm still questionable on that one. We'll see what happens. But him and Chris Godwin finally found a connection. So go ahead and start both these guys in this matchup. Cardinals and Rams now. Josh Dobbs did not have a good game against the Bengals last week. He had a decent game, but not enough for me to even put him as a questionable start. And now he's going up against the Rams in Rams territory. You know, this is a tough environment to play in for the Cardinals now. Just go ahead and sit him. I'm going to sit Josh Dobbs in this matchup. Other side of the ball for the Rams, go ahead and start Matthew Stafford. He's finally got Cooper Kupp back. Now he's got Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua. They can coexist. And now you also have a running and pass-catching running back in Kyron Williams. Yeah, Matthew Stafford has no problem putting up at least 15 to 16 points a game. He might even start exploding up even more now with 20 to 22 a game, but we'll see on that. Just hold your horses on Matthew Stafford. Should become more and more reliable at quarterback moving forward. Eagles and Jets now, and Jalen Hurts is going to be a start for me in this one, and Zach Wilson will be a sit. Even though the Eagles have a really good offense, they have a really bad pass defense. And that being said, Zach Wilson just didn't do well against the Broncos and their bad pass defense. So I'm going to go ahead and sit Zach Wilson, but start Jalen Hurts in this matchup. Sunday Night Football, Giants and the Bills. Like I said in the wide receiver video, I wish this would be flexed. It's not going to be flexed, whatever the case is. But nevertheless, Giants, Daniel Jones has a neck injury. He is questionable to play. I doubt he plays in this one. If he does play, I'm still sitting him. And then Tyrod Taylor against his former team in Buffalo. I'm going to sit him as well. No matter who the quarterback is for the Giants, I don't like the matchup. Go ahead and sit them both. Now for the Bills, no explanations needed. Josh Allen has been clicking on all cylinders, especially with Stephon Diggs and now Gabe Davis. Yeah, start him. Monday Night Football ends it here for us as we have the Cowboys and the Chargers. Dak Prescott's going to be a questionary start for me here. Dak has been terrible the last couple weeks. However, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and put him as a cautionary start. It's a little tricky for me here, but it is up against the worst pass defense in the NFL as of right now. So, for right now, Dak Prescott is a cautionary start. Justin Herbert, though, go ahead and start him. Now, I know this is a little weird to say. He's going up against the number 2 pass defense. But in an offense where you throw 40 to 50 times a game, and Keenan Allen is your top target, plus Diggs is out for the year for the Cowboys, even though they're still ranked number 2. I still think Justin Herbert's going to have a really, really good game. Go ahead and start Herbert, and don't think back on it either. And other than that, that's going to end it here for our quarterback start sits for Week 6. Look out for the running back and tight end. They come out a little bit later in the day. But other than that, drop a like, drop a comment, and if you can, go ahead and give us a subscribe here. We're trying to build this channel up as best we can. We're doing 3 to 4 days of constant work to try to put the best product out we can for you guys. And some people might need the help. Some people might not. Some people might watch the video for fun. But other than that, we're here to try to get as many championships won as possible from our channel and our advice. So other than that, we'll talk to you guys next week. Take care.